Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So today our topic is design of plates and plate slab. Uh, so in this topic, we will discuss. We will do design of two-way slab and using direct design method. And there are two parts while using this method. First, you have to do part the figure analysis and design, and then you have to do shear design. Remember, this method is for the slab having no beams. Previously, we discussed a method for two slab having beams, and the name was moment coefficient method. If you want to know about moment coefficient method, you have to go to Dr. Kasrali website and see their level 2 lectures, and here you will get moment coefficient method. If still someone not getting from there, then contact me. I will send you. In today lecture, we will discuss about direct design method. And direct design method, suppose this is a slab system having columns. Then you have to divide the slab into frames instead of panels. Previously, we used a terminology of panel. This time we will be using frame. So frame mean you have to draw horizontal and vertical lines between columns and divide your frame into parts. And there are two types of parts, horizontal and vertical. So in horizontal, you may have exterior frame and interior frame like this. For the vertical, you have to draw vertical lines, or you can also call it north-south lines, and for the vertical and east-west line for the horizontal. So on both direction, you have to divide your slab into parts, and each part will be called a frame. And again, there will be exterior frame and interior frame in both directions. Now, this method is as per ACI is applicable under certain limitations. So one of the limitation is if suppose a column lying outside central line. So how much this offset is allowed? So offset should be less than this length divided by 10. Or if suppose this is L2, so this maximum offset is allowed L2 by 10. The second limitation is if suppose this strip is rectangular, not square, then how much rectangularity is allowed? So this is common. We have discussed a two slab mean when this ratio is less than 2. Mean ratio of these two sides less than 2, that we calling it, normally we calling it two-way slab, and if this ratio is more than 2, so we calling it one-way slab. So again, the same is here. This ratio should be 2 or less than 2 and against 1. So this is the second limitation. And the third limitation is if suppose this is exterior strip length, and suppose I given a name L1. So the interior span length will be greater than 66% of this L1, mean 2 by 3 of L1. So interior span length should be greater than 66% of exterior panel length. Again, interior panel length should be greater than 66% or 2 by 3 time of exterior panel length. So these three are some of the very basic limitations. Now, the first step in the direct design method is sizes or dimensions, how to take dimensions. So in the dimension, this is a slab, so you will have need to assume slab thickness. And slab thickness you can take from this table. Now, in plates, there are two types of systems. One without drop panel and second with drop panel. Later on, we will discuss drop panel, and I hope you are still clear about drop panel Drop panel is the upper part of the column or the extended part of the column. So if you have without a drop panel system, then for the interior panel, you have to take thickness of the slab equal to these things: L by 36, L by 33, and L by 31. Now, for 40 KSI steel, you have to take L by 36. For 60, you have to take L by 33. And for 75 PSI or 75 KSI, you have to take L by 31. These are the thicknesses for the interior panel in the case when you have no drop panel. If suppose you have, and for the same case, this is for the interior. For the exterior, normally you people have seen that if there is no interior beam in the slab, then sometimes exterior beams are available. Mean beam at the edges are available. So if you have edge beam, then for the exterior panel you have to use these things. Both are same. And for the case when you have no edge beam, then the thicknesses will be equal to these things. Similarly, for the case when there is a drop panel, then for the interior panels, the thicknesses will be equal to these formulas. And for the exterior panel, and if you have no edge beam, this will be the thickness. If you have edge beam, so this will be the thickness. I hope this table is clear. This table is for the slab thicknesses, both for the drop panel and without drop panel, and also for the exterior and interior panels. Now, how to take loads? Previously, we discussed slab thickness. Now, how to take loads? So, the slab load is calculated in usual manner, mean we taking it per square feet or simply PSF. So, you are clear about PSF, pound per square feet. The third step is analysis. How to do analysis of these frames, horizontal and vertical frames, once you marked. So if suppose this is a panel, and which type of panel this is? Said Bilal.
Exterior, sir.
Sorry, yeah, this is interior, not exterior. In
Interior, yes, yes. Interior, east to west.
east, west, interior. So
Yes.
for this frame, for this frame, the first thing is you have to mark show center line, column center line. This is this yellow dash dash is column center line, and the other two lines mean this line is already cleared because you have uh, marked this uh, frame. So there these two lines are clear, and here is interior central column central line. Now within this interior frame, this length width of the frame is L2, and remember all the dimensions we taking vertically are along north south direction. We will call it 2, mean L2, like terminology of 2, and in this direction we will be using 1. So don't confuse yourself this thing. In this horizontal direction we will be taking 1, and vertical direction we will be taking 2. Now the interior frame should be further divided into two parts. One is uh, so half width the panel will come on one side, and half width of the panel will come on other side. You know this thing. This is the frame and this is the total width. Now you have to divide this half width of the panel on one side and half panel on other side. You remember, according to ECI, this where the transverse span means this span, vertical span. On either side of the central line of support values, L2 shall be taken as the average adjacent transverse span. Now, this means if suppose you have different span, suppose this span is 20 and suppose here is 30, then how you have to take this frame width. Again, the procedure is simple. Just divide the width between these two columns and draw a line. Similarly, divide this distance between two columns and divide by 2 and just draw a line. So in this way, you will get this frame. Now, how to draw exterior frame in east-west directions. So procedure is simple, but in exterior frame, how much will be the width? How much will be the L2? L2 will be equal to half of the frame width plus h by 2. Remember, h is the thickness of this column. So you have to add half of the thickness of this column with the exterior panel. So remember this formula for the exterior panel. Interior frame is simple, clear, but in exterior panel, remember exterior panel is equal to half of the frame width, half of this strip width. But you have to add h2 by 2, mean half of the column width. Or simply, it's clear here. Now, once you divide your east-west frame into these two parts, now the next thing is, remember, this is, you can call it column strip. This is column strip. Within the frame, this is the column strip. And column strip mean that the one side of this column and one side of this column, just divide this by 2. So it will have two parts. One is the middle strip and second is column strip. On the other side of this column center line, you have to divide and there will be column strip and middle strip. Now clear yourself about middle strip and column strip. Said Bilal.
Hello, sir.
जी जी
Punish mo sa sapaksa na mo kada.
زه دا وایم چې کله تاسو د ایست ویسٹ فریم جوړ کو کنه شوله
Yes.
دا فریم به موږ فردر ډیوایډ کو کالم سټریپ او میډل سټریپ ته کالم سټریپ اینڈ میډل
Okay, sir.
او کالم سټریپ میډل سټریپ څه ته وایي अब دا سی کنه وګوره دا کالم سنټر لاین دی او دا چې کوم دی دا بل سنټر لاین دی وګوره دې بل سنټر به بل لاین نه کوي دا لاین
Yes, sir.
similarly on the second side چې کوم دې بل سنټر لاین برا کوي ٹھیک شو ها روز ګوره کنه لکه دا تاسو ټوټل ډیوایډ کو ټو پارټس ته دا چې کوم ون سایډ چې کوم دی of this frame you have divide into two half will be equal to middle strip and half will be equal to column strip ٹھیک شو نا so divide this by 2 this will be equal to column strip and this will be equal to middle strip so there are two column strip on both sides and combined we can call it column strip. This is column strip by this frame and outside this the remaining portion is called middle strip. Clear Shuji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gore middle strip or column strip. Gora da چې کوم دی کنه د ټوټل د یلو پارت چې کوم دی ته کالم سټریپ وي صحیح شو کالم سټریپ په فرد ډیوایډ کیږي ټو پارټس ته کالم سټریپ بای 2 کالم سټریپ بای 2 او ټوټل دې موږ کالم سټریپ وایو او دا ریمینینګ چې کوم پارت ته اپر او بیلو دې ته موږ میډل سټریپ وایو نو ګور هاف میډل سټریپ چې کوم دی اباو دی او هاف میډل سټریپ چې کوم دی دا بیلو دی کلیئر دی کنه
Yes, sir. Clear show.
او په ورټیکل ډایرکشن کې به هم موږ دغه سي ډیویژن کو دا فریم موږ د دې طریقې باندې ډیوایډ کو کالم سټریپ اینڈ میډل سټریپ हाँ जी suppose زموږ سره چې کوم دا dimension دي کنه 25 feet horizontal مطلب each panel length او 20 feet چې کوم دی دا vertical وګوره دې کې به column step څومره او middle step په څومره وګوره suppose دا ټوټل زموږ سره څومره دی دی between two columns زموږ سره width چې کوم دی هغه 20 20 20 راځي now چې کله تاسو دا frame establish کوئ نو frame width په څومره frame width چې کوم دی ګوره کنه د دې 20 by 2 نو 10 راځي او 20 by 2 10 نو 10 او 10 combine کړو ټوټل فریم ویټ چې کوم دی L2 برابر دی 20 صحیح ده ها اوس چې کوم دی چې کوم دا 10 دی one side of this column دا 10 further په 2 باندې divide کا بدنه بس راشي 2 نو 5 به راشي so this 5 is on one side and 5 is on another side 5 into 5 so this 5 plus 5 equal to 10 this is called this will be column strip width will be equal to 10 feet. The remaining 5 here and 5 here, these are called middle strip. So half of middle strip, yeah, 5 feet delta raji or 5 feet delta raji. Clear shuji? That delta ki da tool nagashave de. ठीक है? Discussion. The division mane poshwe badamunga sanga da division oko. I hope it's easy.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Now in the exterior frame, what will be the column strip and middle strip? In the exterior panel. Now just divide the width of the exterior panel because this exterior panel width is equal to half of this strip width plus h by 2. Now h by 2 da ho chikam de this are 8 ki na total de chikam de हम देखिए बस एक कॉलम स्टेप पर चिकम दे वेट बाय 4 और मिडल स्टेप पर दे बराबरी सही था कॉलम स्टेप पर सब बराबरी पर एक्सटीरियर पैनल की पैनल वेट डिवाइड बाय 4 प्लस हाफ ऑफ द कॉलम साइज और मिडल स्टेप पर बराबरी L2 मीन टोटल फ्रेम वेट माइनस कॉलम स्टेप ठीक छो और टोटल वेट चिकम दे L2 बराबर दे तो L2 by 4 plus half of the column width دا چې کوم دی دا به چې کوم دی کالم سټپ شي او میډل سټپ چې کوم دی هغه باقي پورشن مطلب دا چې ټوټل L2 نه دا کالم سټپ ماینس کړه ته چې کوم دی میډل سټپ ملاوي شي clear ji now for this case suppose how much suppose this is 20 how much will be the column strip and middle strip in exterior frame so L2 is how much total this L2 for the exterior panel half of the 20 mean half of the strip plus half of the column thickness is 14 inch so half of the column thickness just add this with the half of the 20 it will be equal to 10.58 so total frame width for the exterior panel is how much 10.58 and out of this 10.58 how much will be the column strip and middle strip so column strip is equal to 20 by 4 plus half of the column width, it equal to 5.58. The remaining middle strip will be equal to the remaining part. So total frame width is 10.58 minus 5.58 is column strip. From here, the remaining is 5 feet. Now it's clear?
Yes, sir.
It's okay. دغه یو منټ پاتې دی بیا چې کله اپ شي دوباره به جوین کوي صحیح ده ښه جي now we are here in the analysis in each